Mr. Speaker, it's extraordinary listening to that last answer from the Prime Minister. Inflation was 2% when Conservatives left office. 2%. It's now nearly double that. When will he recognise that it's Labour's budget driving up inflation?
This discussion was meant to demonstrate leadership. Instead, it revealed a complete breakdown. Inflation has risen to 3.5% under Starmer, and this was his response. Dodging questions, blaming the past, and smiling through a growing crisis. This wasn't damage control. It was political self-destruction unfolding in real time. Starmer didn't lead. He misled, delayed, and collapsed under pressure. And while the country struggles, his party laughs. This discussion wasn't just a failure. It was an admission.
I think what she forgot to say was over 11% on their watch, and she didn't say a word. I am confident those numbers will come down, Mr. Speaker. The Bank of England is confident those numbers will come down. That's why we've seen 4 interest rates in a row. But I notice she can't resist grabbing any opportunity to talk the country down. She doesn't mention the growth figures, the interest rate figures, record investment, wages up more than prices, 200,000 jobs created, 4 trade deals. And the reason, Mr. Speaker, they haven't learned, they haven't changed, and as George Osborne said, she doesn't have a credible economic plan.
Now let's break it down. Right here, Keir Starmer reaches for the oldest trick in a failing politician's handbook. Blame the other side for numbers that are no longer theirs. He drags out the old 11% inflation under the Tories like a magician waving a handkerchief, hoping no one notices the smoke behind him. But here's the problem. That was then. This is now. Starmer is in charge, and inflation is rising again under his watch. So why is he still talking about the past? Because he has nothing credible to offer in the present. Then comes the real punchline. I'm confident the numbers will come down. Based on what? Blind faith and Bank of England forecasts. That's not a policy. That's wishful thinking dressed up as strategy. Confidence won't pay heating bills, and fairy tales won't stop supermarkets hiking prices. Next, he tries to gaslight the country with carefully selected figures. Growth, investment, jobs. But here's what he leaves out. Yes, wages are up, but prices are rising faster. Those 200,000 jobs? Many are part-time, insecure, and poorly paid. The 4 trade deals are mostly window dressing, and every so-called gain he boasts about is happening while households sink deeper. Worst of all, he accuses Badenoch of talking the country down. No, she's exposing the damage. The only person dragging Britain through the mud is the man who blames everyone but himself while the cost of living suffocates families. He says her plan isn't credible. The truth is simpler. Starmer has no plan, just a microphone, a smirk, and a nation in crisis.
Mr. Speaker, this is laughable from the Prime Minister. He knows that inflation was brought down by us to 2%, bang on target. We were reacting to a war in Ukraine that brought inflation up all over Europe. While he is doing trade deals with countries like the US and India, their inflation is going down. It's going up here. Why? The ONS says the inflation figures are driven by significant increases in household bills. We warned him repeatedly that this is exactly what would happen, what his policies would do. We called it Awful April. The Prime Minister came into office saying that he would tackle the cost of living crisis. He has failed. He hasn't got a clue, has he?
Badenoch doesn't just rebut Starmer. She dismantles him sentence by sentence. She strips away the mask and shows the public the truth. This isn't a leader fixing a crisis. This is a man who created one. She starts by calling out his bluff. The Tories did bring inflation down to 2%. That's not opinion, it's fact. While Labour now hides behind excuses, they once inherited stability and are now wrecking it. Then she turns his own trade deal boasts against him. Starmer brags about India and the US. Their inflation is falling. Ours is rising. So what exactly is he celebrating? She reminds the chamber of Awful April, a phrase that will haunt this government. A clear warning they saw coming, understood, and still ignored. Starmer didn't stumble into this crisis. He built it brick by brick, then asked for applause as it burned. He has no idea what's happening to real people. The chamber knows it. Viewers at home know it. The struggling mother, the laid-off worker, the pensioner checking the fuel meter all know it too. Before we continue, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive content on the changes reshaping OFF script. Let's continue.
Mr. Speaker, she talks of their record, the disastrous Liz Truss mini-budget. Inflation through the work. They left a £22 billion black hole. Living standards at an all-time low. Energy prices through the roof. Mortgages through the roof. And, Mr. Speaker, we're taking measures to bring prices down. That EU deal will bring prices down. That's why supermarkets welcomed it. What did she do? She opposes measures to bring prices down.
This response is desperation wrapped in repetition. Starmer once again clings to the ghost of Liz Truss, as if saying her name can erase his own failures. He drags out the mini-budget like a comfort blanket, hoping no one notices he's presiding over a slow-motion collapse of his own making. Let's unpack the hypocrisy. Starmer says trust created a black hole. He's digging a deeper one, just slower and quieter. He blames her for mortgage pain and energy costs. Yet those same costs are rising again under him. The difference is simple. Trust collapsed in days. Starmer is eroding the country inch by inch while pretending everything is fine. Then he boasts about his EU deal, claiming it will bring prices down. Based on what? Vague supermarket applause. Not data. Not lower bills. Just corporate approval from businesses that pass costs straight on to families. This isn't leadership. It's PR spin aimed at people too exhausted to fact-check. And then, unbelievably, he attacks Badenoch for opposing measures to cut prices when those very measures have failed. Inflation is up. Bills are up. Confidence is down. If these are his solutions, he's selling medicine that poisons. In the end, this isn't an answer or a rebuttal. It's a politician hiding behind ghosts, gaslighting the public, and denying responsibility while gripping the steering wheel. This wasn't a comeback. It was a confession of failure, fear, and total cluelessness.
Mr. Speaker, he needs to stop whining about what the last government did and look at what he is doing. He is the Prime Minister. Look at the numbers this morning. As if inflation figures weren't bad enough, we've also learned that the Deputy Prime Minister is on manoeuvres. He's lost control of the economy. He's lost control of his cabinet. She's sitting there staring at me. She knew exactly what she was doing when she briefed that into the papers. She is demanding, Mr. Speaker, 8 new tax rises, as if we haven't suffered enough. People out there are struggling. Businesses are struggling. People are losing their jobs. We cannot have more tax.
She's right. Starmer keeps whining about what others did. But this is his crisis now. Inflation is surging. The public is drowning in bills. And instead of leadership, all he offers are excuses and backroom deals. Then she drops the next bombshell. The Deputy Prime Minister is on maneuvers. Translation: there's a civil war inside Labour and it's public. Cabinet leaks, internal plots, senior figures stabbing each other through the press. While the country suffers, the government is fighting itself, drunk on power and blind to the pain beyond Westminster. She turns directly to the Deputy PM, calling her out in plain sight, and exposes what the press already suspected. Starmer isn't just weak, he's surrounded by vultures circling his job. And if he can't control his own cabinet, how can he claim to control inflation?
Rises. Will the Prime Minister rule out new tax rises this year?
Mr. Speaker, she's not learned or changed. They lost the election because their appalling record on the NHS, on health, on prisons, you name it. And now she accuses everyone of whining about the impact that had on the country. It had a huge impact on working people across the country, and they're absolutely right to complain about it. She wants to talk about the Deputy Prime Minister. The Deputy Prime Minister, working with the Chancellor, building 1.5 million new homes, reforming our planning system, putting £7 billion into our economy, and bringing forward our employment rights bill, which is the single biggest upgrade to workers' rights in a generation.
That's desperate stuff. The whole House would have heard the Prime Minister refuse to rule out new tax rises. The whole House heard it. He didn't rule it out. That his cabinet is open warfare. The Deputy Prime Minister clearly calling the shots. What is it that we've learned? We're heading for new tax rises. We know inflation is up. It's just more and more bad news from a Prime Minister who has lost.
M. Badno doesn't play games here. She asks the one question every working person wants answered. Are more tax rises coming or not? She keeps it sharp, simple, unavoidable. And that's exactly why Starmer refuses to answer. Instead of a clear yes or no, he dives straight into a tired blame routine, ranting about the Conservatives' old record on the NHS, prisons, and public services. He tries to bury today's crisis under years of political dust, but it fails. Nobody asked about 10 years ago. They asked about this year. And Starmer dodges because he already knows the truth. Yes, more taxes are coming. Then he drifts into irrelevant boasting, talking about house building, planning reform, and employment rights. None of it eases the pain families feel right now. None of it answers the question. It's classic misdirection. He stacks hollow promises like sandbags against a rising tide of anger. But higher taxes are coming. Inflation is already here. The cabinet is fractured, and the Prime Minister has lost control. Starmer didn't just fail to reassure the public. He confirmed their worst fears.
So we heard his earlier answer, Mr. Speaker. We heard his earlier answer on winter fuel. Let's try and get some more information. I'm going to ask him a simple question. It only requires one word, yes or no. Is he planning to U-turn on winter fuel cuts?
Yeah. Yes. Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, I made clear in my earlier answer that as the economy improves, we want to take measures that will impact on people's lives, and therefore we will look at the threshold, but that will have to be part of a fiscal event. But, Mr. Speaker, they lost control of every element of the economy, of prisons, the borders, the NHS, you name it. And now she's lost control of her party. They are sliding into oblivion. They will have to trade on their past, Mr. Speaker, because that's all they've got.
Speaker, I made it really easy for the Prime Minister. Just a simple question, yes or no. And he could not answer. I wonder how the public feel about a man who can't give a straight answer to a simple question. And you look at all of them behind him, all of them cheering, when this inevitable U-turn on winter fuel comes, and it will, from a desperate Prime Minister, what will he say to the 348 MPs who went over the top and voted for the winter fuel cut last September? Just like the British public, how can any of them ever trust him again?
Mr. Speaker, it's only because of the measures we've taken that the economy is improving. Growth at the highest rate since in the G7. 4 interest rate cuts, 3 trade deals because countries want to trade with this country because of the decisions that we've made. All of those decisions opposed by the party opposite. They've learned absolutely nothing and they're going absolutely nowhere.
Mr. Speaker, this is a Prime Minister who says he's taking measures. The jobs tax is killing jobs. Inflation is up. Business confidence is down. Everyone is worried. He promised to cut bills, but today we see they are rising because of his policies. He promised not to raise taxes on working people, but his jobs tax means people are losing their jobs. Every week we come here with a new company that is saying they are shedding jobs. That's on his watch. He promised to protect pensioners, but his winter fuel cut has driven thousands into hardship. His MPs hate this. He can't see them, but they all look sick just hearing what it is he's going to do. Yes. So let's wait until... Oh, yes, they're laughing. They're laughing.
Will there be a U-turn on the winter fuel cuts? Yes or no? One word. That's all the Prime Minister had to say. Instead, we got a masterclass in evasion. He mumbled, stumbled, danced around the issue, then like clockwork blamed the past, blamed the opposition, and pretended he isn't the one freezing pensioners out of their homes. This isn't politics anymore. It's cowardice. He won't say yes because it exposes his betrayal. He won't say no because he's already planning to cave. So he waffles about fiscal events and recycles empty lines about growth while inflation rises, businesses collapse, and people suffer. This is a prime minister who can't answer because every answer costs credibility. And the opposition simply says what everyone sees. He's being cheered by MPs who know he's lying, who know a U-turn is coming, and who voted for cuts they now want to escape. They look uneasy because they are uneasy, guilty, fearful, tired of covering for a man not in control. And Starmer's defense? The same stale talking points. Growth, the G7, interest rates, trade deals. None of it matters when pensioners can't heat their homes, jobs vanish weekly, and taxes bleed the middle class dry. This isn't leadership. It's a farce. And the worst part? They're laughing.
They're laughing.
I expect better from whips. And boys on at the back, I've got my eye on you. Get me there up.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Order. Sorry. Which one wants to leave first? If I hear it, there we are. They've got the first volunteer. Are you going to behave? Can we behave?
While people freeze and workers lose jobs, they laugh. How can you trust a prime minister who can't give a straight answer to those he's hurting? How can you trust a government that applauds while cutting fuel from the elderly? You can't.
Mr. Speaker, they are laughing just as they laughed at the budget. Hands up who here wanted winter fuel cuts. Hands up. Not a single one of them. Not a single one of them. The fact of the matter is, this Prime Minister is destroying them. They need to look at what they are doing to the country. The truth is, we all know that it's this Prime Minister, this Labour government, and their policies that are shafting the country, isn't it?
This is not leadership. It's desertion in a tailored suit. The Prime Minister dodges real questions, hides behind spin, and smiles while the cost of living crushes families. When pensioners freeze and workers are laid off, he offers silence and slogans. When asked to lead, he blames the past. When challenged, he laughs. The government isn't steering the nation. It's standing on the sidelines as people suffer. Ministers clap, not for progress, but for survival. This isn't a country governed with purpose or vision. It's a country abandoned by those elected to protect it. Do you think Starmer will ever answer real questions? What do you think of his responses? Let us know in the comments. Does he even care? Want more videos like this? Please like, share, and subscribe for updates on OFS Script.